Hello, my name is Peyman and I'm studying Master of Architecture. And I will about to present my graduation project to you, which is called Hidden Border. The presentation will have three parts. The first part I will talk about where, why, who, the context. And after that I will continue with the part search, find, change the system. And in the end phase, I will talk about architectural documents. So let's begin. So I divided my screen into two parts. On the right side, we will see about the existing situation, and on the left side of the screen, new situation. And this will follow the whole presentation. Well, from monastery to art cluster, which was the name of the project, now I name it from art cluster to living art, and you could see the difference in isometric view. So here, Jo Kunen, the architect of the project, had the problem with division of the inside and outside. So in the design, I tried to merge inside and out as much as possible in the design. And then here, I'm talking about the main concept, hidden border. So I said when the one want to go from room A to room B, in the existing situation there is a corridor in between which make the boring movement, but in the new situation I put a new room in between these two rooms, so suddenly hidden borders created, which gives diversity and interesting spaces to the area of the school. And here you could see the process of the strategies and concept that I took. Adaptable activity, urban connection, and breakpoints are the three main strategies that the whole design made out of. So here I tried to put some of the final image of the design also with the existing image side by side, so you could also comparison the before and after, and also get familiar with the eye level view of the design. Search, find, change. So here, while you can see the hypothesis of the project on the left side of the screen, I'm talking about the program of the building. So basically I added around 3,000 square meter place and 2,000 square meter added, and the function which is added is international student housing, open study area, coffee box, exhibition area, and commercial areas, which I added to the spaces of the school. So my main method for designing is just I fill all the gaps in between the spaces with the grid 6 by 6, and then I try to carve the space like Michelangelo when he carved through the stones and create sculpture. So my main purpose is that. So in carving my spaces, I use different grid, which the montage of these grids is shaping the final design, the final project. And at the same time, each grid is following the function of the space that is needed. For example, commercial area is 6 by 6 and so on. So here, what you can see in the existing, the white part is all the greenery and the black is the masses of the city, and this is the Tilburg city. And on the new situation, I just said that look at the neighborhood area, and when you compare the new design with the existing neighborhood area, there is not much difference, diversity is there, and then interesting spaces have been created. Here, when I compare the Nolly map between existing and new, you could see now the garden area is so black, less people has interaction, but in a new design, I try to create small courtyard which give access to the people more to the area. Okay, here you see that in the existing situation, the yellow is the main existing corridor, but in a new situation, all the yellow is the common and shared spaces which help the spaces of the school. Here you can see the main organization of the building, which is like the line, and every space is connected to this line, but in a new situation I try to mix it in a hybrid way. And then you can see, you can compare the existing corridor now with the new situation, which is I just remove all the wall and it's open, and every person could talk to each other, interact each other. And now with the green, So here you can compare the view. Before it was small windows, and now in 2005 they changed the big windows, and now in my new design all the windows has views to the outside interaction, and again views and lights and all the matters. So in this atrium I also make it better, more diverse, and more interaction into the spaces of the school. So now I'm gonna talk about the existing problem of the building. The first one was navigation problem, not student friendly, detached garden, separation from Tilburg, students behind the wall, institutes need more space. So as a result of this problem, I come out with educational manual which has 15 principles. Here you can see the 3 main courtyards that I apply to the spaces of the garden. The first one is Grand Courtyard, which has the monumental building nearby with a big tree on the side. The next one is Middle Courtyard, which has a theory classroom inside. It's a bit smaller, but it still has another tree inside. And the third one, which is near student housing, is a Petite Courtyard, and it has the most condensed spaces inside itself. Well, the commercial line demand different activities in the vicinity of the school. So as you can see here in the perspective view, these triangular shops are connected the area of the school into the outside world, and then now there is a possibility of the movement between outside and inside of the school at the same time. Hierarchical spaces. Staff employer's room must have glass walls. So the idea here is to create more transparency between students and the teachers, while at the same time we create this hierarchy in between student and teacher, so the education could move on. And also here I showed the platform of corridor and the existing. Educational living. Demand student housing units near the lecture hall. So the idea is here to create living space near the educational space. So these could be merged. And another thing, I use the concept of the door to door, which means each unit has 4 meter by 4 meter sizes, and then the combination could be possible with having 4 doors at each side. So each student could use 1, 2, or 3 of them. Another thing is the facade of each unit bring the possibility for everybody or the students to create their own facade. For example, these timber framework could be covered by a fabric and people could paint on it. Coffee points. Demand coffee machine every 30 meters and near each vertical access point. So here the idea is to create different platform in different level so people could pass it, and this could create events. While at the same time I have the coffee shop near the Black Dome area, which we will see that, and near the exhibition hall. So this path has the potential to converge people together. And here we can see the area of the Black Dome, which I created direct lighting inside and indirect lighting. So the light, the play of the light in different time of the day could be seen here while all the walls are black. Turning points. Demand open study area in every corner of the building, wherever people change their movement vectors. So here, as you can see, the before and after images. In before we have 2 corridors meeting together, and the ideation is here that this is a good point for creating spaces for students. They could sit and meet. Learning grounds. Practice room should be a part of the access routes. So right now all the practice room are behind the walls, and a student cannot meet each other and they cannot know anything about what is going on. But here I try to merge everything, access route, the platform, and even a balcony, so people could visit each other and see each other more. Carnival of learning. Exhibition halls are the place where the people of the city and the people of the school meets. So here, while I created my spaces on top of the school, underneath, on the ground, there is a potential to create exhibition. As you can see in the before and after, now these spaces are more defined and people know what to do in the spaces of the garden. Another thing is the detail and these columns with the repetition of these columns, which is now in a space. And in between each boxes, activities could be defined. Glass walls. One should see the practice of dance, theater, music students. So as you can see in the existing, that this big theater room has a wall, and now in the new design I change it with the glass. And the idea is to bring more people to see the theater act, and the student could have a connection with outside world more. Garden view. Flower pots, indoor green roofs, or painting of any artwork with a green color palette should be visible from every 12 meter in the axis routes. So here I use this diagram for two principles, but here in the existing I had the dance floor. Now I break it and then create another connection to the street outside. So you can see a big tree here in the existing situation, and now I change it so this principal line is provided. And now you can see the movement in the spaces with each platform, with each function, and now the breakpoint that you can see through, and it could invite more people to the inside spaces of the garden and school. Another brick in the wall. So here, as I already talked, the idea is to create an opening into the existing structure so light, event and movement can be entered to the existing space of the school. Light line. Demand natural lighting in the border between rooms. So the difference between rooms and spaces, or between new and existing, can be identified with architectural element. So I choose light. So this light could be artificial or natural. Here, as you can see, now I'm moving into the space, you can see the natural lighting and the glass walls. And these are bringing potential for the views as well and attract more people to the inside spaces of the school. While different platforms connect the movements. For example, indoor greenery, classes, open study area, and so on. Repetitive views. Demand the same size for the door and windows. So here in the existing, we have different sizes of the windows and door. So at this moment, it differed the perception of the space. But what I want, that at the same size of the door and window, so the student and people inside the space could feel the same, and the activity and the function that they are doing would be different. Good complement in the classroom. Theory classes are the boring places for a student. Arrange them in a way that views and movement vector can be passed. So here I try to put the platform of my classes in a way that multiple function and axis can be seen at the same time while it's near the middle courtyard. God is in detail. Use delicate architectural detailing where column meet the beam. So here I have the idea of vertical and horizontal. When they meet, this is the center of the universe or center of the movement. So at this point, I propose that architectural detailing could act better and more efficient. Also in detailing, I try to consider far and near. So from the far you could see the difference in color, and when you are near you could see the difference in the texture. Communication is the key. Demand speak areas at the highest level of the building. So from my point of view, learning is really depending on listening and communicating or talking. So that's why symbolically I try to put the highest point of the project as speaks box. So here I put all the diagram existing and new, and there is a comparison between what I meant. Architectural document, the project, and also here this is a montage of all the diagram that it could explain most of my ideas here in an abstract way. So here I put the ground plan existing and the new situation, so I could compare. Here I added a ramp, so it connects the breakpoint to the classroom CSO4, which was before a theater, and now I make it as an exhibition hall, so it connects two sides of the building, why it attract more people to that area. Here, which is the ground plan, I'm showing the idea of having this exhibition hall with this timber column, while the breaking point is here and the commercial lines. So here at this level, most important part is the exhibition line, which has coffee area inside, the black dome, and it connects the existing situation to the grand courtyard. So this linear path and this linear view is become a core of the project at this point. So here at this floor, people could have the view to the three courtyard where lots of activities happening. At the same time, here is the most areas of the design has been located. And here is the location of the student housing. And now you can see the connection between the student housing and other part of the building. And here I had a zoom in to the ground plan, and you can see the student housing, which has the access with the existing staircase and existing lift, and then the in-between spaces while the student could have access into different area of the school. So here at the section BB, you can see the location of the student housing with the staircase, also the ramp which connect the ground floor to the basement, and also the location of the ground courtyard with the monumental building in it. Here at section A, we can identify the existing in white color and new structure in wooden color, detailing both in the 2D drawing and 3D space rendering. And what I did from the existing space to the new space, I add this line light that we already talked about. And then, so here we can see the existing elevation and the new elevation. And also what I add on top, you can see my first sketches that I draw in June 2019. And now this is the final result. Isometric view of the building, which I added into the section and plan at the same time. And finally, I put some of the images, again existing and new at this moment. So here the pictures of the physical model, which shows the existing and the new design in a more abstract way, but at some point it helps the viewer to understand the existing spaces of the building. And here you can see in the existing situation the girl is standing behind the wall, but in a new situation, by removing the wall and opening the spaces, the students and people of the Tilburg and all the stakeholders of the project could meet better, and it's also helped the interdisciplinary artists and the students at all levels. And the final image would be this collage, which I put trees into the spaces of the School of Athens, while at the same time I try to add and impose my structure into these spaces of the school, while the other people, they are moving and studying. And my main point here maybe is that adding green and the structure is more important. It could create more potential for the learning and education system. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I wanted to wish you well and success in everything in your life. Thank you.